Hey, what is going on, guys? Welcome back to the Hybrid Network, and I'm Luke here with a trailer breakdown for the new Spider-Man Homecoming trailer. It dropped today, and we decided that we'd take a look through and kind of see what was interesting about it and what to really take from the trailer, while kind of giving a run-through of what's contained in it. So without further ado, guys, let's get started. So first and foremost, the trailer pretty much starts out with Peter suiting up and just swinging around the city, and I mean, it's not really like a long sequence, but I gotta say it's a really good sequence if you want to start the trailer off, because it just kind of brings that little bit of Spider-Man magic to it. He's just kind of swinging around, he waves to the people in a building. It's pretty funny, and it's pretty in heart with what we've seen from Tom Holland's Spider-Man so far, being pretty much big dweeb. After this, the trailer kind of starts off pretty much the same as anything that we've seen before. We see Peter and Tony talking in the limo like from the first trailer. Tony actually drops the Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man theme. It's pretty cool, actually. I didn't really expect something like that. We kind of see Ned Leeds talking to Peter again. They're kind of going through, you know, he's Spider-Man. They're just kind of talking everything that he knows. It's a cute little scene, and I don't know, it's making me think that Ned's probably going to be a little bit better than I initially thought as a character. But after that, we kind of get some really cool introspection into Vulture. I guess from what I'm seeing, he's a villain that's kind of feeling like an underdog. He's got the whole world kind of taken from him. People up above don't really understand the people on the ground like him. Like the Avengers are just kind of dealing with these big threats. They don't really care about the little guy. And we see a few scenes, and that little cannon that the guy shoots, I didn't notice this before, but that's repurposed Stark technology. That looks like an Iron Man hand shooting out a repulsor if you look at it. I don't know if we ever caught this in the last one, but that's kind of new to me. I didn't see that. I just assumed it would be Chitauri tech from what I remember from the original leak, but it might not be the case. They're just left out Stark technology, which might explain why Tony's so prevalent in this movie. But yeah, Michael Keaton seems like he's kind of playing a blue-collar kind of villain. You know, the world's changing, we gotta change too. It's a very different take, I think, on Vulture, and I think it kind of makes sense, what being that it's been a few years since the Avengers came, and crime is kind of changing, and the business is kind of changing, so they gotta upgrade themselves to kind of keep up. Again, after this, the trailer kind of picks up where some of the last ones left off. You all know that big boat scene, I think, from the first trailer, but there's a little bit more context here where Vulture's kind of blowing it to pieces, and Peter goes there for, I guess, some kind of drug smuggling thing. That's kind of what he jokes about at first, and again, they have him kind of zooming around, putting like little webs everywhere. Again, it really gives me a big Spider-Man 2 vibe, which I don't think is a bad thing, because honestly, that whole train sequence is pretty great, and this is neat because it kind of shows Peter struggling, and it really shows him taking on something too big to handle, which is why when Tony shows up, it seems like a big deal, because Tony is like an official government agent now, and he's coming to clean up the mess of, you know, Peter, some kid that he's trusted, and of course he's reasonably upset. He's saying, give me the suit back. If you can't do this, I don't want you going around causing more trouble wearing that suit on your own. You can't rely on like my gimmicks and my toys, because you're gonna end up getting people hurt. So I kind of like that arc for Peter in this, and it seems like that's kind of a nice reason why Tony is here. As we go further in, the trailer kind of hints that Peter's down because, you know, he failed pretty badly with the boat thing, and he gets a little bit of a speech from Vulture about, you know, I need to protect my family, and this is all I've got left. You understand that. And I think that might be a hint he knows Peter is Spider-Man. I mean, I'm sure he takes his mask off based on that beach confrontation. What I kind of want to talk about is I can't get enough of this scene when Peter's fighting that dude in the bus yard. You know, obviously shocker, but I just like the way that it's kind of handled, and Peter's just getting thrown about by this dude with some shock gauntlet, crashing into buses. And again, he's wearing his old suit at this point, so I'm assuming, because I thought at first that this movie's going to take in 2 different time sets, but it seems like he just puts on his old suit after Tony takes the new one away. So this is probably going to be like in the back half, he's looking for Vulture, he runs into one of his goons, and they fight it out, and Shocker, being Shocker, tells him exactly where to find Toombs. The whole beach confrontation is another thing I kind of like too, because again, there's a nice parallel to draw between Vulture and Peter. Just two people on the ground that saw these kind of Avengers people, all these aliens and stuff attacking, and they kind of felt powerless. And this is the way that they feel powerful, except Peter's kind of downgraded while Toombs has upgraded himself. You know, it's kind of interesting. Peter has his Stark stuff taken away while Toombs just keeps adding on to his. We see later on that their fight takes place in like some sort of parking garage. I'm assuming that this is going to be where the big climax kind of ends. It's going to be just this little closed space and Peter and him just kind of duking it out. I mean, again, it seems like this is a lot after the boat, so I'm assuming the boat takes place probably around the middle of the movie or something, and later on Peter's wearing his old suit and he's going around trying to find out where Toombs is so he can take him down, and this is kind of where it leads to. We get a few more shots, I think, from the first trailer, or at least earlier in the movie, because he's back in his new suit again. What I didn't really see, because I didn't really see all the teaser trailer stuffs, his spider tracer is the spider on his suit. That's pretty cool, because it kind of just like floats off his chest and goes off. I'm really liking how they handle all of his little gadgets he had from the Steve Ditko era, like the little spider light and now the tracer from his chest. It's honestly pretty cool. It's just a nice little homage to Ditko and everything. It's after this we get the whole kind of plane sequence between Peter and Toombs. They get sent up in the air, and you know what? I kind of take it back. This is probably where the final fight's going to take place. Just, I imagine Toombs gets reasonably upset and takes Peter up into the air, fights him on a plane, and the trailer's kind of coming to a close, and, you know, Tony's the whole, you know, don't do anything stupid. And we see what I'm probably is going to assume is probably going to be one of the best scenes of the movie, Peter kind of steering a plane by himself. And I think that this is later in the movie because he's in his old suit. So I'm assuming, you know, he messed up with the boat. The plane, you know, he has a handle of it. He knows what to do now. He knows that, you know, you can't just make stupid decisions. You got to really think, and you really got to take things into stride. And he's going to save the plane. And, you know, everyone's going to see him as a hero because, you know, Tony Stark wasn't around to save him again. Spider-Man saved this plane by himself. So more than anything, Spider-Man Homecoming, I think, feels like a movie that is going to try to tackle the whole growing up thing that I don't think we ever really got in any other Spider-Man movie, because this is all in high school, and this is kind of Peter coming to terms with himself as a superhero, what his limits are, and kind of surpassing his limits just so that he's not some kid in a suit running around stopping bank robbers. It's proving to Tony that he is indeed a hero and that he can handle himself. You know, honestly, I like this trailer a lot more than I like the first one. There's a few things I still find kind of weird. Like, again, I understand now kind of why Tony is there so much. They kind of give a little bit of explanation for that in this trailer, but I feel like something's lost when it seems Tony is so prevalent. Again, this is, you know, all the same universe, so Tony can show up if he want to, and I guess it kind of makes sense that he'd check up on Peter, but it feels like he probably shouldn't have been so far in the movie. I wonder if this is just kind of a way to sell the movie a little bit more to people, because, you know, the last Spider-Man movie just left a bad taste in people's mouths. So bringing Robert Downey Jr. in, kind of reassuring people like, no, this is a different Spider-Man, it makes a little bit more sense. I just kind of wish he wasn't there a lot, because he seems to be there a good bit. Toombs, as a villain, he seems pretty cool in all honesty. He's like a blue-collar guy. He's just kind of fed up with being left behind and being forgotten on the ground, and he's taking himself a little bit more seriously. He's getting back at the people that would look down on him from on top. Whether or not he pans out that way, we'll have to see. I mean, more often than not, we get these kind of trailers with these villains, and they kind of wind up being not best or not as great as we thought they'd be. Ultron, I think, is a good example. I don't know. In all honesty, I think this was a pretty good trailer, in all honesty. I liked it a lot. Probably my only gripe with it is just that it shows pretty much the whole movie. So, I mean, you kind of see Peter's character arc kind of come through. So, yeah, that's a shame that it had to do that. But in all honesty, it makes me excited. What do you guys think? What did you see from the trailer that I maybe missed, or what did you see here that you didn't catch before? And are you excited for Spider-Man Homecoming after this trailer? Let me know in the comments down below, and be sure to subscribe to the Hybrid Network to stay all up to date on all of our videos as they come out. My name is Luke, and I'll catch you guys around on the Hybrid Network. Peace!